Hello, fellow player characters. This is Dave on CRPG Dungeons & Dragons Night, and this is another talking shop. And tonight, we're going to be a little bit of kind of relaxed tonight. My back is feeling a whole lot better since last time, and well, I'm just not quite in the mood to start playing some games yet, so I'm pushing that to at least Sunday or Monday. In the meantime, we're probably going to talk a little bit about what they called Sword World, which is the Japanese equivalent to Dungeons & Dragons. Go ahead and go here. I'm going to have to cut down how much I show of this, because apparently me just showing a couple of pages for a period too long kind of got me in trouble, apparently. I don't know why. So I'm going to just do some quick shots of a couple of pages and kind of give you a rough idea without actually reading what's going on here. We have here Record of Lodoss War, which is actually the first installment of Sword World, although technically at this point it was Dungeons & Dragons that they were playing. So a lot of the stuff in here relates to stuff going on in Dungeons & Dragons. And this was kind of done in a way the author explained that he was approached to do an article on Dungeons & Dragons. He knew absolutely nothing about Dungeons & Dragons. So he and his friends got together and came up with a world and stuff to do. And they came up with a Record of Lodoss War. And they originally wanted to do something about, which was mentioned in the previous talking shop in the comments, that a lot of what they wanted to do, they actually wanted to make it an official Dungeons & Dragons title for Record of Lodoss War, but PSR at the time said no. So they ended up having to make their own game, which was Sword World, and they kind of made it to more palatable for Japanese audiences. So there's about 3 parts. I've only got the 2 parts here, so this is Trotty's explaining how they came up with the game, and then it shows the cover of what Contact magazine, because that's where these premiered. And here we got them putting the game together and giving an understanding of how RPGs work on the tabletop in comparison to, say, a video game, which CRPGs and JRPGs, I should say, are extremely popular in Japan. So, if you haven't guessed, with games like, say, Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. So, here they mentioned D&D basic rules, because this was published back in 1988, I believe. And we got our 6 players getting together for the first, or 7 players, because you got the DM as well, and them talking about how stats work, very fun, basic fundamentals of tabletop RPG. And this goes for a good few pages, and then they actually started introducing their characters. And here's the player sheets. This is for Parn, and anybody that's seen the anime Record of Lodoss War, or even read some of the mangas, you may be familiar with some of these characters, because this is where they originated from. This is Parn, the fighter. Gim, our dwarf. Of course, this is basic rules, so dwarf is just a dwarf. He's not a dwarf fighter. And the same thing with the elf, Deedlit here, which a lot of people will probably point out, so I'm going to mention it here, that Deedlit was in fact played by a male player, not a female player. So it was an all-male group, and she was the only female character, but was played by a male. We've got Slain the wizard, and we got Ito the cleric, and finally got Woodchuck the thief. And here we go, right here. They got a nice little picture of the group there. And then here it talks about them just kind of embellishing on their characters a little bit, and just getting used to playing a character. Here we go into them going on their first adventure. As you can see, they write it kind of like a script. And that's how light novels usually were published. They were basically scripts of the gameplay that happened on certain things, and apparently these are really popular in Japan. Kind of like how Critical Role is kind of popular to go on Thursday nights to watch people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So it's kind of the same thing, it's just in print form. Alright, here's episode 2. And going through talking about how how they describe labyrinths, and basically just dungeons and labyrinths, and how you describe them to the players and what the players are capable of doing. Fair enough. Introduction of miniatures here, which up to that point was never mentioned, but now we have our miniatures, and explanation of the characters again, and you'll see one of these in front of each, at the beginning of pretty much each episode of the literature here. Okay, if you like Lotus War, there are other series related that you might be interested in. Since I know I've shown these before on my channel, but since I know you're probably familiar with what was her name? Puritess. She does make an appearance in another show, along with Ashram. There's Record of Lotus War, Chronicles of the Heroic Knight, which is sort of a rewrite of the last few episodes and a sequel. And it was made for television, and artwork's a little bit different, but it actually is pretty good, and it has new characters in it and stuff. I'd say like the first 1/3 is a rewrite of the last 6 episodes. 4 or 5, somewhere around there, about 6 or 7 episodes. And then they actually go into a full story, which was a rewrite of the last 3 episodes. And they make an entire series out of that one with new characters. They introduce a character named Spark, who idolizes Parn. They have the daughter of Slain and what was her name? Daughter of Niece. Think of her name. Anyway, the one girl he falls in love with in Lord of the Rings, they actually have a child, and her name is Niece as well, after her grandmother. And they become kind of like the main characters, and they have some new characters join in. Then you got Legend of Crystania, which focuses on even newer characters, but one of the main characters involved is Puritess, although they don't call her Puritessa, they call her Puritas, and I gotta try to get that reflection off of that. There we go. And there's a movie and a 3-part OVA that's involved with that one. And it has a lot to do with what happened to Ashram and Puritas after Record of Lotus War, because in the first series they die, but in the rewrite they leave the Black Island. So they kind of rewrote it to where the two of them actually live. And kind of explains it. And then we got this one called Rune Soldier. No, which is the only relation to that. Okay. You remember in a lot of the opening dialogue in Record of Lotus War, they say the continent to the south of Alakrast? This takes place on Alakrast. And it's more of a comedy adventure than it is, straight adventure like the other ones are. Oh, and by the way, if you watch Legend of Crystania, have lots of tissue. It gets depressing, especially the movie. It gets so freaking depressing. And then you got Rune Soldier here, like I said. And this one, I do have a hard time getting through this one sometimes because I'm not fond of what they call embarrassing humor. It's like where they have to embarrass the character for it to be funny. And they do a lot of that with the main character. He's the only guy in a group of which would otherwise be a party of all women. Because you got a female fighter who's buffed out to the nth degree. You got one that's, she's a cleric. And she particularly hates the main character because the main character is her chosen warrior. Chosen for her by her gods. And she can't stand him. So she thinks the gods made a mistake somewhere. Or punishing her for some reason. She thinks she's being punished, and she always says it is against my will. I'm going like, well, if you're doing something for the will of the gods, your will doesn't come into it. But she constantly says it was against my will. And then you have the standard thief, who in this case, she is so money hungry. They actually have an episode where she has a pot of gold that she is psychotically obsessive over. In which, it's pretty much unlike the other ones where there are chapters that, the Rune Soldier's more episodic. With occasional deviations to an ongoing story. Anyways, I was also mentioning here, before I got distracted with Lotus War, there's also, I missed out on the Anime Nia convention that was on the 12th and 13th of April, but on the same day as the other one, Anime Nia is also having a convention on November... Wait a minute. These are happening on the same day. Okay, so we got the Fresno Comic Con happening November 15th and 16th at the Fresno Convention Center. And then we have the Anime Nia happening November 15th and 16th, same 2 days, at the Fresno Fairgrounds. Yeah, crap. That means I got two I gotta deal with on one weekend, and I gotta figure out if I'm gonna do one or both or neither. Well, my chat's gone quiet. Am I that boring? You know what? It just occurred to me. I'm talking on the headset, and I'm not even plugged in. I'm looking up these other anime. Yeah, and just so you know, even though there is a chronological order, they were released out of order. Legend of Crystania came before the, or at least stateside came out before Chronicles of the Heroic Knight. Which, by the way, out of all of them, I think Record of Lotus War, the TV series, has the best opening song out of all of them. But Legend of Crystania, the miniseries, has probably the most rocking one. Rune Soldier has the most anime-centric music. Aw. Well, it might be because I believe they are, well, the other two, they were one company. I believe these were, let me look here. Yeah. ADV was this one, and I believe that, this one was... Yeah, ADV. That's probably why. Because ADV went out of business, and a lot of their stuff, you can't find it anymore. You have to dig it up. Actually, I do believe Legend of Crystania is on YouTube. I have no idea about Rune Soldier, though. Let me look. I don't know. But I'm about to find out. You know, they got him on here, but they got him out of order. Because this is just the OVA. That's supposed to be the movie, but... Yeah, I wouldn't take that one. Shut up. Yeah, whoever put this one together really... Oh, here's the... Well, this is the movie right here. And that is a subbed version. Yeah, they do have them on there, but you have to do a little bit of a... Yeah, they do have them on YouTube. It's a Record of Lodoss War. You'll have the hardest time finding. I think that one's on Crunchyroll. Both series are on Crunchyroll, but yeah, Legend of Crystania, that's on here, and they got both the movie and the 3-episode OVA on here, and it does look like they're subtitled. And let me see, Rune Soldier. Sub. Well, they got it in Spanish. I don't know. I don't go on Crunchyroll, so I guess it's up to it's all up on perspective, I guess. Which one's this? Yeah, though it looks like they only got clips of the show. They don't have actual episodes. He joins up with a group of women adventurers having wacky adventures. That's not what I wouldn't call most of those. I would call most of them misfortune. His misfortune usually has to do with the fact that he kind of sucks as a magic user. He prefers using his fists more than anything else. So he likes to get into brawls and stuff, which annoys the hell out of everybody else because he's supposed to be training to be a wizard, and he does everything but. Okay, let me... I'm looking at Anawave here. Oh, they got Macross on here, great. I don't want to sign up to your Discord. Let's see here. Wow, if it could type any slower. Maha Senshi Bluey is what they're calling it here. Can we actually play the episodes? That's a yes. Okay, check out a website called Anywave. Here, let me see if I can. Here. Copy. I'll throw that on the chat here. I didn't want to play any more of that music than I want to because I might get copyrighted on it. We all know how that is. Okay, so there's that one for Rune Soldier. Now, I believe it plays the episodes without having to pay for it, so don't quote me on that though, because I just did a little bit of a test just to see if it played, and it did so far. And for those of you on YouTube, I'll leave links to the various websites we check out on the description below. Well, the ones I'm allowed to anyway. You know what, let's go back to Anywave and see what else we can find here. Alright, now... Alright, let's go into search here. What was the name of that one you wanted me... Delicious Dungeon or something like that? Delicious in Dungeon. I believe that's what you were saying. And we got it on here. 24 episodes. Yep, found it. Hot pot tart. Roast basilisk omelet. Kakiyaji. Living armor. Stewed cabbage orcs. Snacks sorbet. Court cuisine boiled in salt water. This kind of reminds me of that, what was that one? If I could find it again, I'll put it up. It was on YouTube where I was watching, what was that, Punky Doodles, and there was that one where he's talking about how to cook a goblin, and the goblin goes, "Stop telling them how to eat us!" And he goes, "I'm not teaching them how to cook you, I'm teaching them how to make you taste better when you're cooked." If I could find it, I'll pop it in. I'm going to move that aside for now so I can look it up while we go through other things here. Okay, so yeah, we got, then we got tentacle stew. Giant frogs. Red Dragon 1, Red Dragon 2, Red Dragon 3. Sea serpent. Okay, so I'm definitely putting this on my things to watch when I'm not gaming. Alright, this is called Delicious in Dungeon. Waiting on the next season. Is this fairly new? Let's see. This came out, yeah, a couple years ago, so I guess another season would be in order. Oh, I know how it is when they have like seasons take forever sometimes. Because there was one show I watched, I think there was like 2 or 3 years between seasons. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm definitely saving that to watch later. Okay, what was... Oh yeah, I was looking for... Now, this is the one I was talking about.
Alright, first you'll need some coconut oil, a little paprika, a little bit of some other things, but, after that he should taste delicious.
Stop telling them how to eat us!
Billy, I'm not teaching them how to cook you. I'm teaching them how to make your species taste a little bit better when they get cooked. That's all. It's nothing bad. You're okay. You're gonna be fine.
That's just mean. You're not getting hurt. You'll be fine. Yeah, while he's in boiling water. Brilliant. Another one I'm going to look up here. What is it called? I don't know if you've heard of this one. This is actually an old one from the 90s. It was called Those Who... Oh, there it is. See, 1 and 2. This is a pretty good series. Those Who Hunt Elves. And the whole point is these people from another world, basically Earth, they have a sentient tank, a schoolgirl who is fixated with said tank. I'm trying to remember some of the other characters. You got like one guy who's kind of like a Street Fighter type, who can't shut up. And then of course they got this, and the whole point, well anyway, the whole point of this show is they're trying to get back home, and the way to get back home is they need this one particular elf to cast a spell with all these markings on her body. Unfortunately, it got screwed up by said Street Fighter guy, and they had to go and find the tattoos because they got sent all over the world to different elves somewhere on their body. So they're basically hunting down elves to, particularly female elves, to look at their bodies to see if they have the marks on them. And usually they go about it in a rather unpleasant way half the time. But it's kind of it's like with Rune Soldier, it's definitely a comedy type show. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. But yeah, looks like they got both seasons here, 12 episodes, and then they got the second season. So they got both seasons on there, and it's an... oh yeah, the other one was a swordswoman, and then they have the elf maiden that's trying to help them get back home. So there's that one. Okay, let's go with... oh, there we go. Record of low dose war. Not way, war. There we go. Oh, they got both of them. We got Record of Lotus War, and we got the TV series Chronicles of the Heroic Knight. Yeah, so you got 13 episodes, and I think this one was... how many episodes was on? And by the way, be expecting chibis. Because, the first 2/3 of the show is the regular show, and then for some reason they go into chibi mode with all the characters for like a little skit, comedy sketch thing at the end. Oh, good. 27 episodes. And this one is... Rune Soldier is... I can't read shit because don't have my glasses on. Aha, there we go. I think it's 24 episodes on this one. Don't quote me on that. Well, I can always just look it up again, but yeah, you got both shows there. I think there's about 24, maybe 26 episodes for this one. And of course 13 on that one, so. But those are pretty good shows. And I know that there's another one written by the same guy. I can't think of what it's called though. If I can remember it, I'll let you know. Grimgar. Ashes and Illusions. Fierce survival instinct. Thrown into a foreign land with nothing but hazy memories and the knowledge of their names, they can feel only these three emotions resonating deep within their souls. A group of strangers given no other choice than to accept the only paying job in this game-like world, the role of a soldier in the reserve army, and eliminate anything. Total of 12 episodes. Okay. Well, I'll be right back.
Dungeons and Dragons will return after these messages.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures. A world where adventure never ends. You control warriors with battle-matic arms that fight Grimsword.
There is no escape from my evil dungeon.
Strongheart.
Escape is near.
Mandoom and Metaflame with battle-matic arms and shield shooters.
Once again, good triumphs over evil. For now.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons action figures with battle-matic features from LJN.
You know the Guardians to be strange collectors of old items, and as xenophobic fools who would not hesitate to kill strangers without ever seeing the whites of their eyes. You've come upon the Rail Nomads camp.
And now, back to Dungeons and Dragons.
There was one anime I watched, and then when I read the manga of it, it was like it was a completely different story. I can't remember the name of it, though. But it was more like a comedy in comparison to what I watched on the show. Oh yeah, Ghost in the Shell. It's like... now I remember. Ghost in the Shell, it's like this dark, gritty show, and then when I was reading the anime, I'm going like, it's almost like... has a completely different feel to it. The characters were goofy and stuff in it, and I was just sitting there going like, these aren't the same characters. Oh, seems less dark than that. Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of anime translated from manga, where it's like they completely change it. Let's see. Forgot to write all that down. This one's called Grimgar. Well, I put Grimgar down and it gave me the full title. Alright, I'm trying to think of other anime people might be interested. Oh yeah, Legend of Crystania. This will definitely be in here. Yep, there they both are. And I don't remember ever seeing that poster. Yeah, I've never seen that poster. Anytime I've ever seen anything related to the movie, it's usually this image right here, which which is completely different from that. And here it goes. For our first word on there is Ashram from Legend of Record of Lodoss War. So yeah, this is more like an epilogue to the original series. It's not as good. I mean, like for instance, the movie, the flames look like ketchup and mustard. Whenever they cast a fire spell, that's what it looks like. It looks like someone just splashed ketchup and mustard on the screen. Oh, here's another good one you might want to try. Let me see. Dungeons Explorers. It's a kind of a comedy kind of thing, but definitely in the vein of Dungeons and Dragons. There's only 4 episodes, and it centers on 2 characters. One a human fighter that is actually a wizard, but she can't cast spells without turning into a mouse. Yeah, I just said what I said. I can't get out of that. And the other one is a squirrel girl that can cast druid magic without shapeshifting. She doesn't do shapeshifting. And it pretty much has all the hallmarks of a D&D adventure if you watch it. It has each episode has them going into dungeons or heading to a dungeon, and they have my favorite thing at close to the beginning, which is a tavern scene where they're getting information. And when they're on a boat, they're actually, it shows what they do on a boat besides, just sailing to place. Like it shows the 2 fighters training and the magic users trying to improve on their magics, that kind of thing. So, they do a lot of stuff like that. You have your fighter, who's also a magic user. You have your standard male fighter, who's very cocky. In fact, there's a running joke that he talks about how he defeated such and such amount of armed cavalier or something like that. And the number gets larger and larger every time he mentions it. That he single-handedly defeated this many men. And the number keeps growing every time he mentions it. And then you have this one girl that's also a magic user, and she's terrified of mice. So, of course, you have a character that turns into the mice. Turns into a mouse when she casts a spell. Comedy ensues, of course. And then you have the, the melancholy prince whose kingdom was destroyed and he's out for revenge. So you got your different, your different groups here. The only thing that's missing is you don't have the standard fantasy races. In their place you have a squirrel girl. Well, it's an interesting show and probably worth a watch for you guys. This came out on VHS many years ago, but now you can't find it on DVD or anything, so... You got Final Fantasy Legend of the Crystals, which is actually a sequel to Final Fantasy V. It's in 4 parts. If you decide to watch this, be ready for a lot of bathroom humor. Particularly seeing underage panties. Because I think the girl in question, I think she's 14 or 15 years old. And this show does everything it can to show off her pantaloons every time it gets a chance. If it has the opportunity to do so, it's going to show them. So much so that if you remember the original Final Fantasy games, you had the 4 crystals of Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water. The Wind crystal hides itself inside of this girl in question. And what does it do whenever it reacts to something? It glows. When it glows, it causes her butt to glow. And it's a running gag through the entire show that every time this crystal reacts to anything, it's warning them, her butt starts glowing. Oh, yeah, it says 200 years after Bartz and his friends saved 2 worlds from the threat of X-Death, a threat arises and seeks to take the crystals for itself. Lonali, a descendant of Bartz, and her friend protector Pretz journey to the Temple of the Wind to seek the source of the new danger. And yeah, it's just... Unfortunately, it doesn't do much in the line of Dungeons and Dragons-ing anything. It's just bullet point on the most basic Final Fantasy story pinpoints on it. And I would say that's the only downside of the whole thing. I'm trying to remember, there was a show or an anime that was recently out within the last 5-6 years. I'm trying to remember the name of it, and it's one I've been wanting to watch. And it involves people, you know, that live outside of this deep pit. And the deeper you go into it, the more dangerous it is. So much so that the atmosphere itself can kill you. And if you look at it, it's pretty much like a good setup for a D&D session. I just can't remember the name of the show. If I can remember it, I'd let you guys know, but I just can't think of what it is right now. But I do know it's not for the lighthearted. They have a catalog page. Oh, there it is, right there. Oh boy, I could be here a while. Ace of Diamond. Now there was one show that was from Japan that I watched, and or not Japan, it was from China. And if you guys liked shows like, say, Sword Art Online, this one takes more of a realistic approach to MMORPGs. And it's called, hoping I get this right, The King's Avatar. And if they have it on here, which I doubt, but if they do have it, I consider it one of the better ones that's out there when it comes to gaming culture. Oh, let me see if I can find it. The King's Avatar. Nope, doesn't look like it. I didn't think so. They used to have it on YouTube, but I haven't seen it on there for quite a long time. Or at least not recently. There might be, someone might have put it up lately, but yeah, it's one of those shows you have to catch it when it's on, if it's on there. Well, I haven't seen AD Police in a long time. Oh, wow. They got a nice little listing here. I might spend a few days in here. Totally forget I have a YouTube channel. Oh my goddess. I remember the girls liked that one. There was one that my cousin helped bring over here called Child's Toy, I think it was called. Of course, she was calling it by its original title, which I can't even... Kodomo no Omnicha, I think it was. Kodomo? Well, it's in the K's, so... But it was basically about this little girl. She's an actress, but she goes to regular school. And she is extremely hyperactive. I mean, just terrifyingly hyperactive. But there's this one bit, I think it's in the second or third episode. which I thought was probably one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. And it's one of those stories basically where it's like the bully and her are in friendly competition between the boy bully and her. And she finds out that he's afraid of heights. So she so she does this thing where she has a bunch of gear at her house, and she decides that they're going to have a bungee jumping contest in the gym. And they're going to put like this microphone on both of them. We could pick up the most minute scream. So much as a peep comes out of them, they lose. And the whole joke of it was, she knows he's afraid of heights, and she isn't afraid of heights. So she thinks she's got this in the bag, right? She gets up on he gets up there first, and he jumps down, and the most you get out of him is, and that's it. And so she goes up there and she's going, ha, 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 I got this. I'm not afraid of heights. I've already won this. I don't even have to do this really, but I'm going to do it because I'm braver than you. And she gets up there and she gets the thing on. She jumps down, and as she starts coming down, all of a sudden her eyes go whoop as she realizes she's falling, and she just goes, at full pitch, and it blows out the speakers that was supposed to pick up the tiniest peep. Now it's like they blew up, and then finally, and the screen goes white for a second, then finally it fades back in, and she's just hanging out there, and she goes, I'm not afraid of heights, really. I've just never fallen down from them before. And everybody goes, ugh. Now, I know you've probably heard of Robotech. There's not many people from the 80s that has not heard of Robotech, but here, check this out. Really? You don't have it on here? Okay, let's go through this search. Oh, there we go. There's like, if you do not count most of the shows from Macross, Galaxy is calling you. View all results. Okay, there it is. That's the original Macross, 36 episodes. Then you have a OVA miniseries called Macross Plus. That's 4 episodes. Picks up a few years later. The true sequel to Macross is Macross 7 because it has a couple of the characters from the original series. And then you have, I think it's Macross Frontier. And I like the fact that they take the movie, when they make a movie, like Do You Remember Love is the movie of the original Macross series. Of the original Macross series, you had Do You Remember Love, which is a rewrite of the movie. They actually make it, in one of the series, they turned the movie into a movie within the show. So when you see the movies on there and they say it's a movie, it's actually an in-show movie as well. I think that, which I don't think Dragon Ball ever did that. So I thought that was kind of a neat little twist. So they actually make the movies canon by saying they're actually movies within the show. I don't think that's any relation right there. But yeah, you got Macross 7. Then you got Macross 7 has its own sequel / OVA. Macross 7, the movie, of course, which is a movie within the movie. Then you got Macross Frontier, Macross Delta. And of course, then you got Lovers Again, which actually, the funny thing about Macross 2, Lovers Again, they don't count it as actual series because the original writers weren't involved in it. Now, if you want to know about the others, oh yeah, here's Macross 0. Yeah, the only character that they did not change his name at all was Roy Fokker, but they pronounce it Fokker. But they pronounced it Fokker because, It's a children's show. You can't exactly say a certain word on television, and it might be construed as that word the way you pronounce it. So they changed it to, they spelt it the same, but they pronounced it Foker. But the later Macross series, they actually put more emphasis on the whole music can fight the aliens thing. I don't think it was movie Delta 2. Wow, there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen here before. I better go look up chronologically to see which ones are which order. That way I can watch them again. Because this is a series I actually do love, more so than Robotech. But speaking of Robotech, speed. Oh heck, Spiata. Why is it not registering the O? Speed. Hmm. Southern Cross. Oh, they don't have either one on here. Okay. Well, Southern Cross, for those in the know, Robotech was made up of 3 different shows that weren't technically related to each other. You had Super Dimensional Fortress Macross being the starter storyline, Super Dimensional Fortress or Super Dimensional Southern Cross, which was made by the same company but was a completely unrelated story. But they rewrote it to make it, as part of the Robotech story arc. And then there was Super Genesis Mospida, I think it was called. And that made up the third and final part, and probably one of the more popular story arcs of the 3 stories. And then there's also a couple of 1 or 2 movies, one that was never officially released and one that was officially released for Robotech. I'm trying to remember. It's called Robotech the Movie, I think it was, that was never officially released. And the other one was, I don't remember what it was called, but I remember having it. And it was kind of one of those things that was disappointing because it made all the novels non-canon. Anyways, let's see what kind of anime we could possibly watch here. And I'm talking about myself because I'm never going to play them on my channel as reaction videos. I don't do reaction videos there very well, I noticed, in comparison to, say, like VTubers or professional, or I call them professional reaction video people. Because I don't react that much, I've noticed. I'll like chuckle a little bit, but I don't full on blow up laughter or anything on a lot of these. And a lot of times I think that a lot of these VTubers and reaction people are, I hate to say, I think a lot of them are acting. They're not really doing, a true reaction. They're actually just acting and laughing on cue. Hey, we got Akira. Every home should have a copy of Akira. And every child should watch that on their 13th birthday. Angel Densetsu. When you look at anime, everybody thinks of like one particular style or something, but when you're looking at the different titles here and seeing the different kind of styles of anime you got, it's really surprising when you can see the different kind of styles they have. Oh, Appleseed. That's a good series. That's a good. The first movie kind of sucked, but the when they started going to the CGI kind of stuff, those were actually pretty good. Because the first anime they did, it did the manga no justice whatsoever. Is there any other titles you can think of that I might be interested in? The only thing I can say that I am kind of worried about watching this is a heavy bombardment of advertising. That is my probably my biggest fear when it comes to a lot of watching shows. Because for the longest time, I paid to have uh, Google remove advertising from watching YouTube videos and stuff, and I paid like about $13 a month. I stopped paying about a month ago, and it's night and day on YouTube now. It's like I can't go 2 minutes without, I used to be able to lay down on my bed, have a show or something playing on YouTube, and it would just go through with no worries. Now I go lay down and I have to get up like every 2, 3 minutes to switch off a commercial that pops on. So I cannot comfortably watch YouTube anymore. So I'm hoping if they do have commercials on here, they kind of are a little less uh, abrasive with them. And what really sucks about a lot of those commercials is like, a few of them, they go by back pretty quickly. Then you have ones that'll talk about some sort of health condition or something like that. And the thing goes, skip commercial. And it's going to go by for a few seconds. But then it's like the commercial goes on for damn near 15 minutes. And at that point, I completely forgot what I was even watching. And I think that happened this morning. It was like I went and, I turned a video on, and I went and sat down. And the video went for like about 60 seconds, and the commercial started in. And the commercial, I think, actually went a good 4 or 5 minutes before I finally just, started to get up to go, okay, I'm tired of listening to this guy yap. And it's like saying the same damn thing like 5 times over about, and not, it's like, what do you call it? He's saying a lot without saying anything. Okay. I love when that happens. Oh, I bet you do. You're sitting there. Yeah, I'm just sitting there minding my own business, watching videos, and all of a sudden, I'm actually going to get a little naughty here. Um, he took this little blue thing, and now his penis won't go away. it's like it's like I want his penis all the time. Like, oh God, really? Of course, if I had a boner that lasted 4 hours, I'm not just going to call the. Oh yeah, I've had that happen too. But yeah, I'm sitting there going like, if my erection lasted more than 4 hours, I'm not calling the doctor. I'm calling everybody. They go, hey guys, check this out. This has been going for 4 hours. Ta-da! Of course, my favorite joke is from a movie called Mannequin. And yeah, and I've mentioned on several occasions, I hate mannequins, but my favorite joke in it is Estelle Getty saying, I think that's her name, but she's, they're trying to say we need to fire this guy because he's weird and all that. And she goes, I don't care if he puts a rubber glove on his head and runs through the store naked screaming, "Hey, I'm a squid." As long as he brings customers into the store, I don't care what he does. And of course, the person in question walks up right behind her and he goes, "Is something going on?" She goes, "No, you just keep doing what you're doing." I remember this one being on not Adult Swim, but the other show that they used to have around the same time where it was just at their anime block. And they had this show called Blue Gender. And I think I caught like halfway through it when they were, because they were running it through its cycle, and I had no clue what the hell was going on in that show. Oh, and you can find this on YouTube. You can find this on YouTube. Let me emphasize that. There is a Starship Troopers anime. I think it's like 6 parts. And someone had a laser disc of it and put it on YouTube, and it's still there. So if you guys ever want to see a different version of Starship Troopers, there you go. Just put in Starship Troopers the anime on your search. I think I'm going to go through this whole thing for the rest of the for the rest of the stream, because there's a lot of shows here. I'm like sitting there going like, those are ones I've seen before. There's those ones I've never seen before. Um, a lot of the A Division ones I have watched a lot of them because those were like part of the collection they had over at a place called Corner Video, which is used to be about a block away from where I live from here. I visited that place more than drunks visit bars. And I think I even mentioned that they were paying me under the table after a while because I was underage, but I knew pretty much, other than the adult section, I knew pretty much where every video was and knew what most of the videos were about and who was in them. I'm not like that anymore, but back in the day, yeah. You want a sci-fi movie, an adventure movie, an action movie, fantasy movie, I was the guy to talk to. Or horror movie. I almost forgot about that. Horror movies. Okay, I'm rather interested why they would say that. We've heard of Captain Planet, but I've never heard of Captain Earth. One night, right before summer vacation, Manatsu Daichi, a second year in high school, sees a weird round rainbow floating in the sky above Tanegashima. Tanegashima? I suck at pronouncing Japanese if I haven't heard it. So, for those who speak Japanese or know Japanese, I apologize for the mutilations of pronunciations you are about to receive. Adventures there alone. He has seen this rainbow before with the memories of his father's mysterious death. Encounter of a strange boy and girl. Daiji arrives on this island while the alarm of a... Oh, okay. Card fight. Card fight. Hey, at least they got straight to the title and didn't beat around the bush about what it's actually about. Card fight. Wow, look at all of them. That is a lot of titles to that one. Card fight, card fight, card fight, card fight, card fight, card fight. Oh, and then we finally get Carpenter Assassin. Carp Reborn. Carp, 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 carp. Case closed. The 14th. Cat soup. Cat's tea. Cerberus. Cerberus, if there's not a three-headed puppy in there, I will be extremely upset. Charlotte of the Young Grass. I'm sorry, what? Chibi Godzilla raids again. I have to take that there's other shows along with that one. Chagate Machutsu Robot. I need a better look at that one. Hey, it's the Shogun Samurai. Those of you who don't know, back in the 70s there was a series of toys that were giant robots that they would shoot their fists off and stuff when you had the buttons and all that on them. And they had rockets and stuff like that. And they kind of looked like these guys here. In fact, one of the conventions I... No. Okay, I got a little history lesson for you guys here. Okay, this is actually made by a doomsday cult, this anime right here. About this guy. I'm not getting to, I won't get into full details, but there is a lot about this Aum Shinrikyo. Look him up on YouTube. There are videos on this guy. And yeah, he made an anime and a video game to promote his cult. Yeah, it says it right here. And the sole purpose of recruiting otaku into his cults. I'm surprised they actually put that on here. Okay. Oh, and this one is the first, although it's a rather, it's still got the sexy bits in it, but they kind of censored it quite a bit. This is Chojin Densetsu, or Ratsuka Doji, Legend of the Overfiend. And it was the first hentai released in the States. Legally released in the States. And there's an entire series following that one. I know, I watched them. And I've regretted it ever since. So I'm kind of surprised they put light hentai in here. Of course, I was also kind of surprised to see the cult film in there. Let's see here. You know, I've never actually watched Cowboy Bebop, and I heard that was a really popular show in the day, but I've never actually seen it. I think I tried to sit in one for an episode one time on Adult Swim and just couldn't get into it. The art style just didn't appeal to me. Let's see. Darker than black? Is there such a thing? Other than the void? Date a live movie. Oh, I see. Date alive. Date to date. Date alive 2. Date alive to such and suching. Date alive 4. Date alive 5. Okay, so apparently Date Alive was a series for a while that I've never heard of. Double D Fist of the North Star. I have no words. Okay, Death Note. I've heard a lot about that one. Never seen it. Oh, there's Delicious Dungeon. Demon City Shinjuku. I remember that was a big to-do for a while because it was like one of the first ones to have nudity over here that I remember. I'll be right back.
Dungeons and Dragons will return after these messages.
1,000 years have passed since the Cataclysm. The Manakalan Empire, all but forgotten. Many seek the lost secrets that lie at the heart of its ruins. Powerful magic, wielded only by the ancient masters of old. Now, evil forces seek to harness this power. Unless brave heroes stand to unite against them.
Let's go kill some monsters.
You must find a way. Ensure that never again Celesta falls into an age of chaos and darkness. Without you, surely all will be lost.
Hello fellow player characters, this is Dave on CRPG Dungeons & Dragons Night, and I've started a new series called Reading Forgotten Realms. Basically, I'm just reading the Forgotten Realms novels as they were released in order. And you can check them out. I'll be already starting one at this point with Darkwalker on Moonshae. You get to listen to me drone on, mispronounce words, and other fun little stuff. So go ahead and check it out, and maybe it might help you get to sleep. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whichever comes first. Bye.
Legacies of old, about to be awakened.
And now, back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Howdy ho, neighbor, I'm back! I promise never to do that again. Demon Slayer. Hold on a second. I mentioned this on my last pickup. I picked up a Demon Slayer t-shirt because I thought it was cool looking. Here we go. Now, of course, I know absolutely nothing about the show, but I see that there's a couple of movies and TV series. So Yeah, maybe I should check them out. Figure out why I thought the t-shirt was so cool. It's not bad. Okay, well, I will check it out, though. See, is there more? Yeah, there's more over here. There's a couple more. Detective Conan. I remember hearing about that one. Never watched an episode, though. Mainly because his head kind of reminded me of Stewie. My eyes are all bugging out right now. I need to turn my glasses. Ah, there we go. Okay, there's one show I'll never watch. Digimon. And no, I will not watch Pokemon either. Mainly because that was kind of beyond my generation, so I never really got into that anyway. Dirty Pair. Which seems to be quite a few of them that I was never aware of. The only one I knew about was that one. And there's 211 pages of this stuff. I'm going to be here a while looking through all these, figuring out what shows I want to watch. Doraemon. I saw the first movie and I played the 2 Nintendo games. So I am familiar with the character. I actually played the games before I saw the movie, and then when I saw the movie, I never played the games again. Here we go, Dragon Ball. 153 episodes. All your Goku lovers, here you go. All the Dragon Ball you could ever want. And we're still going with more Dragon Ball stuff. Dragon Ball movies, because I know there was a movie per season, so... Which usually was a reimagining of the whole season just in movie form and usually with a different plot. Except for key instances from the series. Oh, there's that. Not many people know about this, but there was a Dragon Quest series. Yeah, this is the original one right here, which I think was loosely based on Dragon Quest III. I don't think I know this one. I think this one has to do with... Actually, I don't know about that one. I'll have to look into that one. But yeah, they made a couple of Dragon Quest anime. And yes, if you look at the art style, it is the same artist that did Dragon Ball. That's a known fact. Actually, there's 3 of them. There's a 100 episode one right here that I didn't even notice until just now. Adventures of Dai and Legend of the Hero Abel. Yeah, so they got 3 of them right here. I did not know. I didn't even notice this 100 episode one right here. Shows how observant I am. So Dragon Quest is on my list now. And I'm assuming these are in Japanese because I don't see anything telling me otherwise. And considering they're using a lot of the Japanese titles. Oh, here's Dr. Slump, which is another series by the same guy that brought you Dragon Ball. In fact, I think the characters in this make an appearance in Dragon Ball a couple of times. Dr. Slump, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and there's a lot of shows with... yeah, look at all that. And I do remember there was a couple episodes where they make appearances in Dragon Ball. I don't know if they made appearances in Dragon Ball Z, because I didn't get very far in Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball. It was like, because I was only able to watch them when I was able to watch them at the time. I might get back to them just to see how, the full story. Eagle Riders, also known as Gotcha Man, or Battle of the Planets, which Eagle Riders should also, if it's any relation, we should also have Gotcha Man a little bit later on. Eureka 7. Familiar with that one. I'm looking to see if I can see any of the old ones I used to watch as a kid. And I'm talking all the way from the late 70s through the 90s. Because I watched anime whenever I got a chance to. I wonder if they got King Arthur in here. Yeah, there was an anime King Arthur in the 80s, early to mid 80s. I've only watched the first 4 episodes. Or maybe it was the first 6 episodes. I'm not quite sure, because like I said, that was so long ago. But I remember it was an anime, and it was about King Arthur. Well, here's all the Final Fantasy animes and CGI movies. Final Fantasy VII Last Order, Advent Children, Final Fantasy Unlimited, and I don't see it here, but we did see Legend of the Crystals on here somewhere. I think I actually had to order that one up to see it. Fire Force, don't know that one. Fog Hill of Five Elements. That's a rather descriptive title. Like I said, this might actually be a video of me just thumbing through this whole channel or website, seeing what kind of oh, there's your Full Metal Alchemist. You know, I only watched one episode, and that depressed the shit out of me. That I never wanted to watch it ever again after that. And it had to do with a little girl that was turned into a animal of some sort by her father. And the only thing they could do was just to basically to put her out of her misery. And I was just like, this is a popular show? It's like, I couldn't stand. Yeah, it was me and my ex-wife watched it, and we were both, you know, because I was going like, yeah, everybody, you know, my friends were telling me this is a great show and stuff, and that was the episode we started with. And we're just sitting there going like, I never want to watch this show again after that. Galactic Cyclone Breacher. Oh, Galaxy Express 3.9. Which I remember seeing the first movie on Cinemax one time. Then I found out about the series years later, and I'm just sitting there going, and I found out it was just like a clip show. The movies were just a clip show of the series. I'm going like, I think I'll rather watch the series then. Then I found out Galaxy 3.9 has like part of this expanded universe by one guy. There's a Gamera movie in here. I have no idea if that's CGI or not, but if you've ever watched a Gamera movie, mind you, Gamera was made for kids in comparison to Godzilla. Gamera was specifically made for children, because Gamera will not harm children. But I've seen movie, I think it was one of the more recent movies, and it's like this monster trapped all these people on this cliff, and I'm thinking, yeah, he's just going to fry them or stuff like that. No, he starts scooping them up with his mouth and starts eating them a little bit at a time. And these people can't get away, and he's just going, oh. And I'm just sitting there going like, this is a kid's movie? Holy crap! And you're watching it, entire groups of people being eaten alive. I'm just sitting there going, their standards for what children entertainment is completely different from ours. Oh, there we go. Gotcha, man. And I remember that one as I was a kid. That's another one I want to put on my list. Gotcha. Generation of Chaos. I think that's what they called my generation when I was a kid. And here we go with all the Ghosts in the Shell. Yes, I've seen the original movie, and I saw its sequel, and I saw at least the first season of Standalone Complex. Well, we're up to 64. Page 64. I did not click on anything. Why'd you move? Let's see here. Glass Fleet. The Legend of who? Legend of the Wind of the Universe. Wind of the Universe. Okay. Goblin Slayer. Let's take a look at that one. Goblin Slayer and his party head up to the snowy mountains in the north after receiving requests. It's a recap of the first season. It's an adaptation of the... Okay, so there's a full series. That's the other series I was thinking of. Record of Grand Crest War is written by the same guy that wrote Record of Lotus War. Goblin Slayer is a good show. Okay, well, I'll put Goblin Slayer on there then. I just see the movie there, but the series might be on the next... Oh, no, it's right there. 12 episodes. Okay, so So Goblin Slayer's on the list. Oh, there's Goblin Slayer's second season. God Eater. Oh, they got a lot of gods in here. God Troubles. Oh, here we go. Godzilla City on the edge of something. I did not know they made Godzilla anime. Goku, no relation to Dragon Ball. Golden Warrior. I wonder if they have Prince Planet on here. Probably under a different title, but because I have a couple of let me see here. Some of my Something Weird collection. I have the 4 movies they made of Space Giant. They changed it to Starman, and they made four movies out of a bunch of the episodes. And the special features on here include a couple of episodes from a show called Prince Planet. So I'm going to see what the original title is, and maybe we can look that up. Okay, Prince Planet, 1965 to 1966 TV show, 1 season. Kind of has the Astro Boy look going for him here. Planet Boy Pappy. You say Shonen Pappy. Okay, let's try with the other title. Nope. Okay. So it is a lost series. Okay. The reason I was looking is because they actually mentioned it's a lost series and not many episodes exist. Really? Okay. Wow. Moving on. Well, here we go with Gundam. And there's a crack load of that series. Yeah, there we go with Gundam, Gundam Build. Gundam, Gundam this, Gundam that. Everywhere a Gundam. Gundam 2, Gundam 1 Earthlight. Gun Parade. Here we got the Dot Hack, which, unfortunately, if you watch the series, the really bad thing about it is, how do I put it nicely? If you have no intention of playing the games, there's no point in playing the anime or watching the animes, because the animes they are centered on the fact that there is a video game, and they expect you to be interested in playing the video game or getting ready to play the video game. Other than that, you have no reason to really watch it. Because a lot of the key points happen in the game, not in the anime. Except for Quantum. Quantum was just pretty much a standalone story. I know this is probably really boring for a lot of people to watch me going through a bunch of anime listings here. But the anime is one of the few things that actually piques my interest these days. Outside of Dungeons & Dragons, CRPGs. And there's a lot of anime that I would like to see, and there's a lot of anime I would like to see again. Just apparently they use a lot of the original titles in this, so that's going to be kind of a thing for me to deal with. Anyway. How long have I been on? Almost 2 hours? Yeah, I think I'll probably call it a little bit of a night here in about 12 minutes. I'm going to continue going through this for now, but yeah, if this was boring for you guys, I apologize. This was like a spontaneous thing, which tends to happen when I do my talking shops. I'll just randomly decide to do something in the middle of it, because 9 times out of 10, I have no plan when I start a talking shop. It's just whatever you guys suggest I start doing, or because this was actually viewer requested that I look up titles of stuff. Well, not completely, I kind of did it on my own, but it was just, it started with the conversation. And I wanted to help Arts and Crafts find certain anime, which I think we succeeded in, and I'm glad to have helped out with that. Because he was interested in seeing a lot of the Record of Lodoss War stuff that just wasn't here in his in Crunchyroll. Which, by the way, I've dealt with Crunchyroll before. How do I put it nicely? They're more interested in making money than they are with giving you quality, which seems to be a big problem with a lot of these companies lately. They're more interested in just making money than actually giving you quality product. But yeah, I might even, right after this, I might end up watching some anime before I go to bed tonight. Mortalities. Oh, we got some live action stuff here, looks like. No, that's CGI, never mind. Yeah, that's usually the case, because Crunchyroll, I think, was late 90s. They were a good company to stand by. They had some quality stuff. Then they just did what everybody else does when someone hands you a big bag of cash. You get eaten by the mimic. I keep meaning to do it, but I never get around to it. It's like I was going to start going to conventions with actual cash inside this, but I keep changing my mind. One, because, you know, someone might snatch that off of me. A doppelbanger? Oh, ganger. Doppelganger. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, I think I'll make it up to 100 and then we'll call it there. And if you guys want me to continue going through this, next time I do a talking shop, I'm more than happy to do that with you guys. See what kind of titles we can find here. I know I'm kind of buzzing through this fast because technically I'm a speed reader when I'm not talking out loud. So my brain is actually picking up all the titles as I go through, but because I'm not reading them out loud. But the ones I do read out loud, that's when I kind of slow down a bit. Yeah. Actually, there's a guy I watched called Eddie something or other. I can't think of his name right now. But he does a lot of... he would watch like scary TikToks. And the one things he started to really hate was people bringing up skinwalkers and doppelgangers. And he started calling them skinwalkers and doppelbangers. Because he was getting... I think he actually started calling skinwalkers something else, but he started calling doppelgangers doppelbangers. Because it was getting on his nerves that those videos kept popping up. Okay, I think Konomacha might be next. Kadoka Omacha? Something like that. I'm trying to remember how it was pronounced. Because it was because if I can get to that one episode, I'll jump straight to that bit and then probably call it a night. Kaiju girls? Doppelwalkers and skin... Oh, that sounds even worse. So much worse that I don't even want to say it out loud. For a while, I think they kind of got... a lot of people got strikes on it because of it. There was a live-action show, or live-action comedy sketch show that I started watching for a while that's from Japan. I couldn't tell you the name of it, but it had these two guys, and they would do like punishment shows. It's like someone lost in a bet or something. They would do like a punishment show and it'd go for like a full 24 hours of them going through a punishment. And some of them was like they would play a game of tag, but instead of when you got tagged you're it, the person that was tagged would get a punishment, like some guy would fart in their face, or they would get spanked, or they would have to snort I can't think of what that stuff is, but that green spicy stuff, they'd have to snort it, that kind of thing. I'm trying to think of the name of the show, but I can't think of it right now. But one of the favorite things I liked watching was they did this food testing thing. and they would have ramen noodles. They would have a whole row of ramen noodles from different companies, and there was usually like 4 or 5 guys in this group, and they would go, okay, we're gonna blindfold you. We're gonna have you test one of them. Then you got to find out which one of these 12 ramen noodles products was the one you tasted, and which one was it. And if they get it wrong, they get a punishment. And the punishment was anything like they get smacked in the nuts by a Chinko machine of some sort, stuff like that. It was weird stuff, like they would get hit in the balls for as a punishment, that kind of thing, or they get hit on the head with a plastic mallet or something, stuff like that. But there was one, it was noodles, and the guy goes, he tastes the one, and he sits there for a minute, and he goes, this wasn't it. And the thing goes ding 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 ding, indicating he was correct. So he goes on the next one. He goes ding ding ding, and then if he gets it correct, he gets 1,000 yen, which I think was like what, $100. But anyway, so but if they won, they got 1,000 yen. If they lost, they got whatever the punishment was. So they had to go through all, until they got it right. They say this is the one, and they get it right. That's when they get the reward. But if they say this wasn't it, and it was the one, they get a punishment. Or if they say the wrong one was the correct one, they get the punishment, basically. But I liked watching that one because they did different. Oh, there it is, Kadocha. And there's the movie. 102 episodes. I did not know it that well. She was a teenager by the end of the series, which I like the fact that a lot of the anime, they do age the characters over seasons. They don't stay the same age the entire time. Kind of like with Dragon Ball. So they do get older. But yeah, this is the one. So I'm going to click on this one real quick.
Welcome to bonus day.
I do believe it was episode 2. Oh, it was a 3rd episode. Okay. I'm going to just jump straight to that scene. I've never done it. That was a flaw in my strategy. So, yeah, that was that was what happened on that episode. And to this day, that's like one of the funniest anime sequences I've ever seen, because, this girl's like full of confidence, and then she does that, and you're just like, well, yeah, people are afraid of heights have never actually fallen from them before, or jumped down from them. Just because you're not afraid of heights doesn't mean you ain't gonna be afraid of falling from them. Anyways, I think I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for Arts and Crafts and others for keeping me company tonight. This was a last thought stream for having tonight, and I really didn't have any plans tonight. I just wanted to, figure out doing something with you guys, and we figured out something. I hoped I helped you out, Arts and Crafts, with finding out some anime to check out. I know I got a few anime to check out myself, and I'll let you know in my next video or stream what I thought of some of them if I watch any tonight. So you guys take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whichever comes first. Bye-bye.